In the Impact segment tonight, was there a conspiracy to create false Benghazi talking points? Over the weekend, Fox's Brit Hume had it out with former Democratic Congresswoman Jane Harman about allegations of a cover-up by the White House.
It wasn't a conspiracy, and there aren't aliens in Area 51, and Vince Foster wasn't murdered. And it's time to move on and focus on the real problems in Libya.
The question was whether in the aftermath of the attack, when the administration sent its UN ambassador out to explain it to everybody, and she did so falsely, that there wasn't a conspiracy to create the false talking points that she used.
There wasn't a conspiracy. They did not turn out to be accurate.
How did it happen?
I think that people made, at the time, their best guess at the facts.
Well, wait a minute. But where did the idea that the video had anything to do with Benghazi come from?
Where did it come from?
Yeah.
I think it came from people who weren't sure about it, but I would not say
anybody?
that it was falsely inserted in
any CIA information?
Wow. Well, Jane Harman's conspiracy theory argument sounds remarkably like the Carney talking points we played earlier, huh? With us now, the aforementioned Brit Hume. That was fun. You had a fun Sunday, too. Isn't that great?
In a manner of speaking, although I must say I still feel like I don't have the answer to the question.
Right. Well, we don't know that, though, Brit, right? We don't know a lot of things. We don't know who came up with the talking points line of the protest, the video. We don't really know what the TikTok was on what President Obama did that night.
We really don't. I mean, what we do know, obviously, that there was a bunch of demonstrations in the Middle East, and it was during the same period that this attack in Benghazi happened. And it's conceivable that someone would have thought, because there was talk of the video at those demonstrations in Cairo and elsewhere, that the same forces may have been in play in Benghazi. But very quickly after that, it was pretty clearly revealed by everybody who was in a position to know, the intelligence agencies, the people on the ground, people at the State Department, that this was a terrorist attack, a planned terrorist attack, and was not related to the video. That was within 24 hours that was known. So anybody who had that idea at a senior level in our government, to include the President, to include Secretary Clinton, to include Susan Rice, would have known that. And yet, days later, here's Susan Rice on all those Sunday talking shows famously expounding the theory that it all began and germinated with Internet video.
And then the President goes on David Letterman and references the protests, and he goes on The View.
Secretary Clinton goes up to Dover and mentions it in her prepared remarks, and is said to have mentioned it to the grieving relatives of one of those who was slain, that they were going to get the person responsible for the video and the rest of it. So
do you think there's a risk here for the Republicans on, and not, I mean, that sounds like I'm making it political, but look, I remember, Whitewater and everything that came out of Whitewater, and Bill Clinton's one of the most beloved global politicians, global forces for good in the world. Is there a risk that Republicans forget the other issues out there that are percolating that really affect Americans' lives, like the economy, or obviously foreign policy strife, America in decline, the rise of China?
Well, I don't think there's much danger that this issue is going to rise so to the forefront that will appear to the public that it is the only thing on earth that the Republican Party is concerned with.
Democrats are going to say that, though,
well,
right?
Well, of course they are, but they'll say things like that anyway. I think there's a greater danger of a bungled investigation that's what I fear. With the works gummed up by the fact that Democrats don't participate or merely obstruct. What's lacking here, and what has been present in past investigations when you've had a bipartisan group seeking the facts, is the kind of media atmosphere that gets players in both parties to the view that they better play or they'll look bad. That's not happening here. I mean, we've had some media buy-in more recently with regard to the materials that have come out, the emails that have come out. But by and large, the media have not been interested in this story, and they've thought it peculiar that those segments of the media that were doing it.
Is there any doubt, after hearing Plouffe call me delusional, basically, and that Harman Exchange, Carney, the conspiracy theorists, we just had Secretary Richardson call it, well, this could be a witch hunt, which I wouldn't have used, given that, which could be going at Hillary, but that's the term he used. It's Republicans who are they're bloodthirsty. They're going to get at Hillary no matter what. It's going to make her more sympathetic. It's going to make her supporters rise to her.
I think
it's incompetence. I think it could be not nefarious, but let's say take all their points. There was no ill will, no bad faith. If it's no bad faith, it's sheer incompetence at the very least. That's a huge issue for Hillary too.
Well, perhaps, but look. What we're all looking at here is the thing that this has had the scent out from the beginning, which is cover-up. This has looked from the get-go like there was a cover-up, and the story they told never really fit the facts, but it did fit one thing. It fit the needs of the president up for re-election and of a Secretary of State hoping to succeed him.
And now we have a new election in the offing.
There you go.
And the central figure who is responsible for the security of these embassies. Brett, it's great to see you, as always.
Thank you, Laura.
And directly ahead, will the new Benghazi revelations prevent Hillary Clinton from running for president in 2016? Juan Williams will analyze when the factor comes right back.